Hi friends, I'm Tammy K. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm excited about this video because my daughter and I painted again together, and we decided to go in the style of Matisse like we did a little bit last time. Well, I did and she did her own version. And so this is a painting from Ellen Crimi-Trent. You can check out her tutorial, it's linked in the description. But it's really fun and exciting, this nice little style that helps emulate what Matisse was all about, with the bright colors and all the little shapes of the paintbrush to create the impression and the illusion. So let's go ahead and start painting this together. So this is our process here. We got this tutorial off of YouTube wanting to do a Matisse style painting, a nice landscape, and Ellen had the perfect thing for us. So here we are, we've taped down our paper and we're just starting off with some really nice loose brush strokes. So I have a filbert brush that I'm using, and we are trying to paint in some trees. Now, I do want to reiterate, this is not our composition. This is Ellen's, and I will link her tutorial below in the description so that you guys can follow it if you'd like. So I decided to use a filbert brush, and I'm doing some lighter and darker values so you can see I'm swiping off some of the paint and I'm dabbing my brush, and then I add in some lighter marks around the darker marks. So we're just going for that ball shape and kind of emulating this idea of a tree. So Matisse was really into, once he became more intuitive in his painting style, he was very much into bright colors. He felt that color expressed emotion, which is so true. But of course, we know a lot more about that now than back in his day. So I'm grabbing some different colors here. The idea is to literally create the idea of something. So within this landscape, we are just using brush strokes. We are going to use kind of some texture, and you can do horizontal or diagonal lines or vertical lines. You can do little dashes. You can do little dots and just really play along with it, really playing with the marks that you want to make. So here we're starting with the grasses that go along this little pathway that we'll put in later. And what you can do is take a photo of a landscape if you don't want to do this particular one, and you can just emulate that with little lines, dashes, dots, and all kinds of fun little colors. So this is not a realistic painting, but this is something that can help loosen you up, hopefully, and give you some excitement for creating a painting like this. So I've got the grass here. Now I'm using a little filbert brush, which is giving me some nice rounded brush strokes at the top of the brush stroke. And you can even use the side of it to create a different type of shape. I'm just now doubling up and making my grasses a bit thicker. And I'm leaving that triangular shape in the middle so that we can go ahead and do our pathway when I'm ready. A little bit more concentrated paint and just adding in some contrast, some definition. And my daughter here has decided to go with more of that space in between, so leaving more white space versus the tighter look. And so hers ends up turning out so much different than mine, which I thought was great, because remembering that when you're painting something, no two people will have an identical painting. And that's a good thing, because we are all trying to kind of make it up as we go, use our intuition, be creative, and just have a lot of fun with it. So she's already started with her orange tree trunk here, and it's got a nice little S curve to it. And it looks like she took a bunch of really thick saturated orange to create this color versus mixing a lot of water into her paint. So now I'm grabbing from the paint well some really thick blue, grabbing a little bit more water so that I can spread out the color. And of course I'm painting my little water area because it's fun. You got to be creative where you can. So I'm using that thick paint. You can see how much darker it is in that first layer. And that's just going to give us some more of that depth. So now we are dipping into some nice turquoise color, and I'm using this side of the brush to create these nice horizontal, I always think horizontal or vertical. It's horizontal brush strokes here. And just creating a nice little bit of grass around this tree. My daughter is getting more of that rectangular shape with the angle of her brush, and it's always fun to try different ways of holding your brush and the different angles and the different sizes and shapes as well. So I prefer using a brush where I don't have to do much, but I can just press down with some medium or heavy pressure with the belly of the brush to create that shape, which is why I love using this brush instead of like a pointed round brush. And so I'm just starting another bit of a tree or maybe a bush in the background next to the first blue tree. And the idea is just to start filling in the spaces with things that are recognizable as shapes and colors and forms. So I put some yellow in there. Those could be yellow flowers, or it could be a yellow tree in the background there. But just, get creative with it. Don't stress about it either, because that's not going to help you have a nice loose painting, and it's not going to help you have an enjoyable painting experience. So I'm putting in a bit more of that really nice turquoisey green. Those could be little bushes in the back. The idea is not to overthink things, but just to think enough so that you are able to put paint on the paper. So now I'm just dabbing with my same brush, a nice red color. I used a concentrated amount. My daughter has a lovely purple on there, and she left some white space, looks like it's on purpose, so that she could put in those floral marks, and versus me where I've just put them on top of the greens that I already placed there. So if you are doing this with us, take a step back, kind of look and see what do you like about it, what do you want to add in. She's adding some yellow florals. I'm adding in some dots for some orange ones. And remember, when you're doing an impressionistic painting kind of like this, your brain is filling in the details of what you're not painting in. So now we're doing some horizontal brush strokes. Some are longer, some are shorter, leaving a lot of white space. And this is that walkway, that path. So mine is a lot lighter in terms of the value of paint, and my daughter is going a mid-tone, a lot darker than me, and that's great. So keeping aware of where you're wanting to go with your painting, I do want to say, if you are enjoying this experience, if you can give this video a like, subscribe to the channel so that you are informed whenever I put other tutorials and videos out. And guys, remember, I do teach watercolor on Skillshare, which is a place to get classes and courses from me, and you can get it 30 days free if you'd like to try my 2 watercolor floral courses I have out so far. There's a link for new Skillshare members in the description, 30 days free. And also I teach on Patreon as well. So lots of fun stuff to check out. That one has bonus content and hopefully a lot of inspiration to let go of the perfectionism in our art and just learn to enjoy the painting process and all that it offers. So now we're going ahead and adding in a few more trees in the background. I will be speeding this up real soon just so that we can kind of get past the composition of it, but feel free to pause if you are painting with me. We've already done these type of trees before, and we're just going to speed through them. Now you can make them any color that you want, whatever makes your heart happy and merry. And this is part of that process of filling in the white space. So you can see that this is a garden. There are trees, there is depth, there are lots of flowers all around. And I'm going to leave that sky just open, just white like that. If you wanted to, you could put a nice light wash of blue or something like that, paint in some clouds. But for me, I think this is good. So we are progressing really well with our landscape. Now I'm darkening up my pathway just so that I have a bit more of that 3D quality and the depth here. And I'm not worrying too much about the brush strokes, where they're being placed. I just want them to be kind of natural and random, leaving still a lot of that white space like we were talking about before. So kind of analyze your painting and see what else needs to be placed here. What's going to make your heart happy? My daughter's adding in some yellow flowers. And so we are following this tutorial by Ellen, but we are also using our own free will to create the details and use the colors that we want to use. I chose to do some more grass in the front and just kind of sharpen up some of the flowers and the details here and there. It's been so much fun to paint with you guys. Happy painting and happy mental health to you. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed painting this with us today. Enjoyed a little bit of art chat as well. And remember, guys, my art retreat is linked below. If you're still interested in coming, it's in October. in the fall in Italy. And I teach on Skillshare, so you can check out my courses that are free for new students for 30 days. And if you already have a Skillshare account, then you can access it basically free because you've already paid for your account. Thank you for being here, guys. I wish you well, happy painting, and happy mental health. And I'll see you guys soon on the next tutorial.